They still trying to figure out a way to make this team interesting.
Don't do that.
Like
Don't do that.
they
People try to
said,
say that, but like they're the ones who started it all. What you mean?
okay.
What you mean?
I don't think
Sue,
that makes them
Sue,
interesting.
Sue Storm is the reason
I
a
think you
fake
like
girl
Sue.
is on the team. Like, come on. And when Galactus comes to kill everybody, who y'all call?
The
Oh,
ultimate.
okay. What they gonna do?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
No, they hit up Reed in the Fantastic Four. So
They do use Reed a lot. All right, hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Relaunch. We are your hosts. I am the king of cameos, Mr. Wong.
oh, I know that's right. And I am my homegirl representing for the paralegals out there, Miss Nikki from She-Hulk.
Yeah, Nikki's hot. The fun
Right.
girl. The fun girl.
Yes. How are you?
I'm doing well. Fall has officially hit the District of Columbia, so the weather has dropped significantly. It's been very chilly, which is great for me. I have a couple sweaters that I'm ready to debut, and so I'm enjoying that. I got a pumpkin spice latte the other day.
Oh, it's like real fall. Okay.
Yeah, it was like cold outside. I was like, oh, which makes me kind of scared because it makes me think we're gonna have like a really cold and harsh winter, and I do not like winter.
Well, it's gonna be 90 degrees today here, so it is not cold.
That's nice. I'm happy for
I'm
you.
gonna be outside. Yeah.
Well, how are
You
you?
know, I'm great. You know, working, enjoying life, trying to stay busy, trying to stay happy and peaceful.
I know that's right. Happy and
You know,
peaceful is
in a great
like
place.
the baseline. If you can't provide
Truly.
those, you can't be around me.
You can't be around me. I don't want you disrupting that. Like, I'm fantastic. I'm in a fantastic place. So,
I love that.
yeah. Yeah. What's new? Nothing? Is working?
Um, I've been doing some like Blade rereading lately. I've just been like thinking about the movie again a lot. I think they actually start filming next month, finally. And it's just really reminding me that my love for this character, I don't really know where it comes from because these books are bad.
Oh, no.
And
Oh,
like they range from like subpar, medium, like mediocre to like bad. Guggenheim has a run. You know how I feel about Guggenheim. Guggenheim is like one of the better runs of all of
wow.
his stuff. And he never gets good art. The art is always very bad. They do this thing with like his hair in one of them, Sinestro's hair. The
Oh,
pieces,
no. That like widow thing?
triangles, the widow thing. Yeah, but he's got like it's a shaved head. And he's just got like three of those on the head. The designs are like so 90s. It's just not a good look for him, and it's been quite a thing. But I will say, as I've been doing this, I've noticed I've been on the upswing with a lot of his stuff, especially post 2000s. I think once Al Ewing kind of used him in Mighty Avengers and he started making his little cameos in other books, it got a little bit better. I think it got kind of bland because again, they would only bring Blade in to fight vampires. And it was just like once the vampires was gone, so was he. I think that next change really did come when Aaron used him in Avengers. Again, he brought him in to fight vampires, but he ended up having him join the team. He kind of starts building relationships with the rest of the members a little bit more. He gets boy thing. He like fights other people. He gets this new status, feels like a sheriff of Vampire Town. He's had a couple of one shots that have been pretty good as well. So we're getting there. There's still no hint of a British accent in a lot of these, so that's always kind of funny to me. Yes, Blade is British. His mom is British. He was born in London in a brothel. He was raised there. His dad is Latvian, and he was in
His
prison at
dad
the
is
time.
Latvian, like Doom Latvian?
Yes.
What? I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
Is he running
when
into
his
Doom?
no, he doesn't go to Latveria. There's not really vampires.
Wow.
It's not really a
Okay.
there, but his mom is like killed by a vampire. She's like drank while she's pregnant with him. And like because of that, the enzymes pass it to him. That's how he gets his whole like daywalker thing. And yeah, that's the believe. His name is Eric Brooks. Again, for those who don't know, Eric Cross Brooks, actually. So, yeah. So it's going to be interesting, but yeah, it's just all going to be really interesting. It's reminding me that like again, he's on the upswing. I do like the character. Obviously, like just my love of vampires, I think, kind of posted that up for a very long time. But now we're actually getting to the point where he's getting good. I think we're at the point now we need a new design though, something a little bit more updated, modern. I know this black trench coat military look thing is what the people
No,
want.
I'm sorry, y'all. I do not like trench coats on costumes. Get rid of them.
We got to get
You are
past
a
like
superhero. What are you doing? Especially
it's
like one
cool.
that like moves around. Those are heavy. What are you doing?
It gives the effect when they're like fighting. Think of Underworld when she had on her long black coat.
I did not like it. Take that coat off, girl.
What?
Get to work.
Oh
That
my
coat.
God.
Take it
I'll
off.
never. Oh my God, the Matrix when they had on their coats.
Take the coat off.
Uh, but
Please.
then that's also a moment because when they take the coat off, it's serious
You
now.
get into
It's like,
business.
oh,
Yes.
it's like, oh, we really got to do something here. So I don't know, but that's been my Blade reread. It's been really exciting to like
That's
see it get better.
I've been doing some rereading recently. I've reactivated my stand card for Rogue. I
Mm,
used to really, really be a big Rogue fan. Then when she went through her carry phase, when she like gained
mm,
control of her powers, fully standing then. And then for me, she started to click down because she like permanently absorbed Wonder Man. I love Wonder Man. And like
mm.
even though she's not
Yeah.
supposed to be able to do that, he like got in her. I
Hmm.
really like that. And like it was obviously such a reason just to bring her back to the 90s because that's all she wanted to
Hmm.
do after that moment was just the girl on the team who can't touch anybody, but she's like super strong. Like, even
Okay.
though like I love superhero Rogue, that's my favorite version of her.
Hmm.
I also love Flying Brick Rogue. She does need to have like a baseline of powers because her powers like affect her mentally and she like absorbs psyche and stuff. I don't think she should always like rely on that,
Hmm.
because that can affect her own mind. So she does need to have some base powers. I love the flying.
Mm, I do like superhero Rogue. I don't know if I like punch
I've
a
been
stand
thinking
car
about
for
her
her,
recently.
but
Oh yeah, mine is active. But I've been thinking about her recently. How I would love to see her do.
hmm you know,
She
I think Rogue could honestly be a solo character if they like really wanted to push it. Again, I think superhero Rogue is very interesting. I think Rogue leading the Avengers is very interesting. I actually think that's like a really good story because when you think about like Rogue when she led the team during the carry run, she kind of wasn't a good leader, but
no, and they fought the
she
children of the vault.
yeah, she like flopped like bad, ended up in a coma and everything. But nonetheless, I think by the time she became the leader of Avengers, she did really well. And I wonder if it's more so a thing where she just grew into being a better leader, or if maybe like that team is just like the better team for her type of leadership. But I
I
think
mean, at the same time, she. Do you mean the team like her with the Avengers versus the X-Men, or the team members that she had? She was kind
a
of
little
surrounded by flops
I was
on the X-Men.
I was listening a little bit of both, honestly. But I mean, but it also makes me think it's like because she has done all these things, has she grown enough to the point where she can kind of just go on her own? I think obviously the biggest thing that stops her is she doesn't have a rogues gallery of her own. But there are tons of like Q-list villains out there who aren't being
Oh,
used
for
or who
sure.
haven't been used in decades who could be coming in to do that for her. And her connection with Carol also, like I feel like that's something that helps align her and move her into that solo hero space. Like, oh, I had a little bit of her in me too, and that's what she do, and like I feel that, and I've grown to this. I can do that too.
Yeah. And I mean, and she does have one of my favorite, probably my favorite story arc, like story trope for a character. The villain to hero still
Mm,
kind of villainous. Like sometimes she probably still help Mystique because like that's her mama.
that's my mama.
I just wish I would like to see her have a little bit more of a lane. I think you're probably right. Solo might be the route for her.
I think it could be good for her. I think again, especially if you move her into this space of like she was just on the X-Men. She loves being a superhero. Again, she is former Avenger. She was the X-Men. She wants to continue to do that. She wants to continue to help people. I think she's kind of been at this spot now where a lot of the older X-Men, and we've talked about this before, they can't really go back to doing the things that they like used to do when it was just a handful
Yeah.
of mutants on the team. I feel like it would be a regression. So even putting Rogue as someone who's just another girl on the team, it always kind of feels like this is a girl who's led the Avengers, who's led the X-Men,
And cleared them.
who's beaten them all, who's like been the teacher, then the guy she's fought Bastion on her own. She's done all these things. Having her just be your subordinate, it feels a little like "Mm, that don't seem right.
And you've already done that.
You've already done that. So if she's on this team and she's not the leader, then what is she really doing here? And if Rogue's whole thing is that she wants to be a hero and she wants to save people, she should go do that. She should be Krakoa's like superhero, Krakoa's solo superhero.
Yeah. I think her solo question or try that too.
Yeah,
That's wild. She wasn't even present for any of that stuff, but
they need the
yeah,
girl in
I
the
guess
boat.
gotta move on. Um, okay. So there weren't too many big updates this week. But getting into it, there was an announcement for the Fantastic Four movie coming from Marvel Studios. They have now tapped Jeff Kaplan and Ian Springer to write the movie. And it's been quite the interesting bit on social media to see people's reaction to this because they don't have like a big catalog for
Hmm.
like being writers like at all. They've only worked on like a few indie projects, so they haven't really worked on anything big. Some people think that this is great. You know, this will give them a chance to do something big and have them give a fresh eyes, a fresh take on Fantastic Four or a superhero property instead of like something you're used to.
Yeah.
Others are saying that they got they got no names, so they could tell them what to do. So who
Oh,
knows?
that's true. Ooh. So I was about to go into this whole thing about like, oh, support new talent and give them the job and let them do it. But then once you said that, I was like, oh, yeah, I could see that happen too. And it's corporate America is so crazy because that's exactly how they think. I'll never forget I had a job back in the day, and my boss, we were talking about hiring somebody for this position, and there was this one person who I really liked. But she wanted the other person, and I'll never forget. She was like, "He seems a little bit more malleable." And I was like, "What you mean?" I was
You
like,
can
and
take
like,
control.
and like that has always stuck with me. It's just like, people are nasty. You gotta watch it. I can see that, especially Marvel. I don't know. Feige's clicking down though, so we'll see.
Yeah, I mean they're trying to steer the ship into the right place.
He
I
should have got
do
some
am
Blade news
getting
out there.
excited for what?
I'm saying Feige. He should have got some Blade news in there. He's a flop until I hear anything.
I think they're waiting for um Black Panther to.
Okay.
I think they are. I would not be surprised if it was like attached to that. They're probably gonna put that in the theater and like Black Panther's out. Trailer for that will also be
Mm, we'll
that's
see.
promo.
It
People
will
want to go
be.
see Black Panther.
They are. I know I
That's
am.
promo.
That Namor thing is like so exciting. The new Entertainment Weekly cover they just dropped with him, Shuri, and
Yes.
Angela Bassett on it, looking great. Can't wait.
Yeah. You have any predictions?
No, not really. I think I'm going into it with like I do. I predict I'm going to cry actually at some point during the
Hmm.
movie. But other than that, no, not really. I really am excited to see Namor though. I might punch my MCU Namor staying card.
That's fair. I think they might want to go ahead and give him that synergy juice too.
Like,
In the
it's going to be
616.
so interesting because how are they going to give it to him? That is like a very specific thing. And like,
I
are they?
think they're just gonna do it.
Very-
I would not be surprised if they just did it and said,
because
"Oh well."
it's hit everybody else in some type of
Look
way.
what
And
they
like,
did to Makari. Makari
yeah,
came back a black woman, and they just never
so,
said
okay,
anything.
it'll be interesting. I think they might create a new character though, or they might like find another kingdom of Atlantis that is connected
Oh.
to that one. So they can still bring that in some type of way. Because they try, I mean, they tried it with the Valkyrie a couple of times. How many? I ain't never seen so many black Valkyries in Marvel in my life. It's like 4 now.
I know. I think they tried one time to just like bring a girl that looked just like the one from
Yeah.
Rock. But that one, I don't think she clicked all the way. So then they made Runa up.
Hmm. They got the other multi. They just, they got the 3 little
Yeah.
black witches. That was a good book. I might go back and read that.
A lot of stuff I've been seeing with big stuff happen. So
Mm.
good comic content.
There has been, and spooky season's coming up, so I need to redo like I want to make a list of all my kind of horror comics and that deal with things. I've actually been making one about all my vampire comics because again, I love a Blade. Maybe that's why I've been reading Blade books also. Look at that, it all works out. But there's so many comic books about vampires, and I don't think I've ever realized that. And I'm just like, this is so good. This is really
Everywhere.
for
They
me.
just popped up in Captain Marvel. Randomly, like a
It's a
random attack of
resurgence.
vampires backed up.
We need an event. That's what they need to do. After whatever Marvel's doing, like the next
Uh,
summer event needs to be vampire focused. I want them everywhere. Dracula's got his little team in Russia. We got the vampires in Otherworld. There's like a lot. Blade's got this new prominence. That's actually probably what they're waiting for with his movie.
X-Terminators, they're there too.
So,
You
anyways,
know.
back to the Fantastic Four.
Yes, the Fantastic Four they found their writers, and allegedly now they'll be focusing on casting the. Now,
Oh
in my
God,
opinion, that means that Jim didn't make the short list and probably won't be coming back as Reed.
good.
There have been so many rumors about, oh, this person got cast and this person should be that, and I don't think they had even started even looking at. I think there probably are ideas.
They said, man, we don't even know what this movie's going to be about. Okay,
Right, right. Like y'all gotta calm down.
they still trying to figure out a way to make this team interesting.
Don't do that.
Like
Don't do that.
they
People try to
said,
say that, but like they're the ones who started it all. What you mean?
okay.
What you mean?
I don't think
Sue,
that makes them
Sue,
interesting.
Sue Storm is the reason
I
a
think you
fake
like
girl
Sue.
is on the team. Like, come on. And when Galactus comes to kill everybody, who y'all call?
The ultimate.
Okay. What they gonna do?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
No, they hit up Reed in the Fantastic Four. So
They do use Reed a lot.
they do. We'll be talking about that a lot later, actually. So let's go
Mm,
ahead and take a break, and then we'll come right back.
okay. All right, hello everyone, and welcome back for the comic section. Another review, and I had kind of another like slightly small pull list this week. So I don't know. I'm kind of nervous because I feel like that means the next few weeks are about to be like very heavy.
Jam packed.
And I'm just like, ooh. But it was a very exciting week nonetheless. We had some new number ones. We had some like continuations of some events. Some things happened. So let's get into all of.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to make some mentions of the week. Avengers number 60 was out. It was the Axe tie-in because everybody got a tie-in to Axe apparently. And we actually
Yeah.
had a guest writer on this issue. It was Mark Russell and Greg Land was doing some of the art. And it was about Hawkeye. So if you're a fan of Hawkeye, I think you'll be into it. That's why it's only getting mentioned. And Strange Number Six came out this week also. That continues to be a really good story, but this issue was more focused on Wong, and Jean Grey made an appearance, so she was there. And Batman the Night number 9 was also out. And anyone who knows me knows I've been talking about this series. Like, it is not reinventing the wheel of Batman stories of dealing with him in the past. It's just kind of another tale of him going through his training and all the stuff he did. This issue is really exciting because Ghostmaker's in it. He showed up last
Mm.
issue. He's in this one, and then it's like their first time meeting Ra's al Ghul and Tyler, and dealing with all that. And he wants them to fight, and Batman's like, "I'm not going to fight him," but Ghostmaker's like, "Well, I'm gonna fight you," and so that's how the issue ends because that's basically how their relationship is. But I like Ghostmaker; he's a star.
I love that. I love that. Like they've even gotten you reading Batman books.
Okay,
like it's just
it is disgusting. It is
wow, power.
disgusting. It is just like wow. But it's also interesting because all these Batman books that I'm reading, he's just like the old guy,
Yeah, he
and
just kind of there.
everyone's
The books are good when he's just kind of there. But
yeah,
everybody
like
else around him is good.
everybody else is around him and doing things because they just keep telling him you can't keep doing this by yourself and blah blah blah. It's like whatever, okay. But then also on the flip side of that, all the other stories are just additions to his past. It's
Mhm.
like we can't come up with something else.
Yeah. I mean, currently in the present, he again in his other books, he's talking about being too old or like, but he's still getting active. Gave up his money or something. I don't know.
I you know.
They
Anyways,
always go through that cycle anyway. Yeah.
I give him his props. The book sale, he's got me reading it, and it is good. I'm not gonna lie. So I get it.
See?
I get it. It's like whatever. Do what you gotta do. Keep doing it. But let's get to the main books. And the first one is Fantastic Four number 47, and that comes from David Pepose and Juann Cabal.
hmm
They always
Yeah.
wait for
So
good artists on these boring ass teams.
it wasn't a waste to me, baby, because it was not. So I dipped back into Fantastic Four. I started off the series back in 2018 when it first got their relaunch post Secret Wars, and had they been shelved for a while because of the like Fox stuff. But after that was done, then
Dark.
they Dark Times. Then I came back, and no secret, I did not like the slot run at all. So I I dropped that. But I came back for this issue because not because it's an Axe tie-in, which this was, but because it was a Sue Storm focused issue, or at least it was being like
Oh, okay.
publicized that way. So this issue opens up with Reed giving a message to everyone saying, "Hey, I'm going into my think tank because the Celestial is here. Like, I'm going to figure out a problem for this," which automatically, for me, makes this a great book. One of the issues that have happened a lot with the Fantastic Four within recent years has been the over reliance on Reed. A lot of writers, their favorite characters end up being either Reed and or the Thing. So they end up getting
Mhm.
most of the page time. And with Reed, a lot of the Fantastic Four missions go like this. There's a villain, the other three will fight it. Reed will
Mhm.
come up with a solution, MacGuffin some science together, and win the day. And then they all go home and be a family. So Reed is always like the one that kind of doing it. So to put him off away
Mhm.
in this issue right away,
It's
already
something
into
different.
it. Already into it. So Sue is in the Baxter building. She's like talking to everyone in there, talking to one of the woman who works in there, asking her about like her girlfriend and talking about her smoking habits, and like really showing how Sue is just like a personable person. She talks to everyone around here. There's a new intern that comes in. She's going to be working in accounting. Her and Sue take the elevator together. Long story short, this lady ends up like being Bullet or the Exterminatrix,
Mm.
who is she is the daughter of a Fantastic Four villain. His name was like Cosmic Man. He hated the Fantastic Four because after they got their powers and became famous, like he felt like they never deserved it or didn't do anything with their powers. And when he had a daughter, he like trained her to be like an
Mm.
assassin and like just a murderer.
She
And
she dated Novar. or I don't know if it was this version or like an alternate version of her, but he dated an Arbalest.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and
Obelix. Oh,
Kieran
it's saying
Gillen.
Midas, Obelix
Yeah,
Midas.
yeah, her.
Oh,
It was like a
This is
thing
this might be
in
the same girl.
see, she gets around. I love that. I love a like a
Does she have
villain
that
that's
face
like
mask,
in the ponytail with the
the
high heels.
ponytail? Yeah, yeah.
You know, I stand. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, she gets.
hmm Yeah, so she's like in this and she's talking to Sue and she basically infiltrates the place, blows up the elevator that they're in. Sue is like dangling off the end of it. She helps the uh, janitor who was in there with them and helps him get down to safety. Really cool, showcasing of her powers. And basically, um, Obelette or Exterminatrix, she has now the Midas Foundation. She's got like a whole like army of people that she has with her, and they are
Mhm.
infiltrating the Baxter building because they want to steal information from Reed's think tank because she's thinking like this is the perfect time to do this because
Yeah,
the heroes are gonna win. Like they're gonna beat the Celestial, right? So like why not use while they're all distracted? Why not come
I
through and do
love
this?
a villain who respects their heroes. Like
hmm
I know they're gonna get to work and do their job, so I'm gonna do mine.
Yeah. So Sue has these really cool moments where she's like using her powers and breaking out. So does the Thing. They've all been kind of separated out. Thing is being attacked by the mindless ones. Those are those like gray creatures with the
Yeah,
little
yeah.
eye beams. He's being attacked by one of those. Human Torch is outside of the Baxter building and there's this force field around. He's trying to break in. It felt exactly how it was being um, kind of promoted, which was what's that movie with when he says "Yippee ki Um, man, uh, I'm truly blanking
Okay.
on the name. Oh my god,
Are you like googling Yippee Ki?
I'm googling. I'm googling it right now.
Okay.
Yeah, Yippee Die Hard. Oh my god, why wasn't I not think of that?
Oh,
Oh my gosh, so this is being marketed as like Sue in Die
in
Hard,
a Die Hard.
and that's
Oh,
That's kind of what this is, where she's held up in the Baxter building and like they're coming to attack her. The Midas Foundation, anyway, has taken over. She's trying to break out, and the next issue we'll see more of like the mission because Arbalete
oh.
did at the end make it to the think tank. So
So is this like the new writer? Is it what's going on? Or
no, this is just he will be writing this issue and I think the next one,
Mhm.
48, and then I think the run is done. The following series will be by a new uh, creative team. New
Okay.
creative team.
Well, that's cool. Well, I'm
Kind of
glad
like
Sue got a nice
like
issue.
New Mutants is ending with and they're bringing on I think Vita's leaving, but they're bringing on a different writer to like write a couple issues before like whatever. I think this is the same kind of
Mm.
thing.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Well, Juan Cabal is a good artist, so congrats on
Oh,
that.
the art was hot. Yes,
But I feel like the
fantastic
Fantastic
art.
Four has never had bad art.
No, they don't. Everyone likes to draw them. The Thing has a really big fan base. I think people just like the rocks.
Mm. Okay. What would you rate the issue?
I would give this issue um a 4 out of 5, 4.5 out of 5. I feel like the next issue I'll like it even more because it's gonna be like the
Hmm.
big action issue where everything's kind of coming all together. But this was fantastic. Sue had a great showing using her abilities, and her force fields. So I loved it.
Okay, that's cool. Good for
Excited
Sue.
for. So I'm excited for
Sue
the
gets a lot.
run.
Okay. Well, next up on the list, we had a new number one, a book you mentioned a little bit earlier, Exterminators number one, and that is from Leah Williams and Carlos Gomez. And this was like Dazzler's grand return to the book. She's been MIA for quite some time. So, I had to support it because she's like number three on my list of girls. And this issue was kind of been solicited as like a mature grindhouse, um, cheesecakey like title. There's bombs, there's boobs, there's cussing, there's gore. Basically, Dazzler starts out the issue. She's breaking up with some random guy, and I guess he cheated on her, so she's kicking him out of her apartment. She calls Jubilee, and she's like, I just broke up with
They know each
Adam.
other?
So let me finish. So, she goes Jubilee and she's like, I just broke up with Adam. I just want to go out and have a good time. Jubilee is like, okay, cool. Boom Boom's here too. They meet her at a bar. She's like, I'm ready to get drunk. They're doing it. They're vamping. Alex, the boyfriend, pops up. He's a vampire. They kidnap the girls and they send them to basically what seems like a giant simulation. They're all in different parts. Jubilee is suddenly like in this big death race. Boom Boom is afloat some piece in this like gastric ocean where monsters are coming to attack her every time she moves. Dazzler is stuck in a maze being chased by vampires. And they're all like trying to get out of their respective situations. Eventually, they do, through lots of power usage and explosions and blood and gore and guts, get back together. They've realized that they're being watched by all of these people, that they're probably in a simulation. And by the end of the issue, we see that Laura, Wolverine, is also there, possibly mind controlled, possibly of her own accord. And she is like killing all these people. And because the girls just got out of their situation, their next task is apparently going to be to fight her. And that's how the issue ends.
Oh,
It's
that sounds
fun.
fun.
It's fun. It's like a fun thing. Like you said, there are like some oddities. I think if you're going in with like this kind of thing of wanting to see like close characters who have always known each other like interacting, it's not that. Because again, like Dazzler calls Jubilee, and it very much gives like, oh, all of my other friends are busy, so I've just been talking to you. And
Yeah.
because like you're around, because Jubilee is obviously by herself, because at this time, the
Betsy in
delays.
the other world.
Yeah,
Or
Betsy's in the
in
other
on
world,
space. Who she gonna
in
call?
space, Rogue's out doing whatever with her man. You know what I'm saying? Long shot's nowhere to be found. Emma, who might also be her friend, is like doing her own thing. Jubilee's here. And Boom Boom is with Jubilee. And I just broke up with my man and I want you to come out and hang out and get me drunk. And that's what it is. And so like that's a good time. I'm assuming the delays like obviously push this back a lot because Jubilee's by herself. So I assume this is at the time where like Betsy and Shogo and them are stuck in Otherworld and she is like alone hanging out with Jubilee. Boom Boom is like fun. She's making her bombs. They're bantering. Some of the humor didn't really land with me. There were a couple of jokes. I was kind of like, this isn't for me. But again, I get the appeal of like it's fun. It's grindhouse. It's gonna. I'm gonna stick around for the next issue. I like seeing Dazzler. She was using her powers. That was cool.
Sometimes that's all it takes.
The art is nice
Sometimes that's all we
also.
need.
Gomez does like a good job at like expressions, and I feel like the kind of cheesecake aspects that they want to like tie up or like done they emphasize well. Obviously, like the girls are getting their clothes scratched off, so Dazzler's a boob girl. She's got big tits, so like that is emphasized in this book. Boom Boom's coming out in some like skimpy Barbie doll dress that she's like loving, showcasing off. Jubilee makes a joke about how she looks like if Barbie were a sex addict, and so it's cute. I'd give it all in all probably like a 3.5 out of 5. I thought it was enjoyable. It's a good time. I think I'm gonna stick around for another issue and see how we go.
Fun.
I'm excited. I will interested to know how Laura got there. Like, what she be doing? But I guess like that was Wolverine's thing too. He always would just pop.
Wolverine sells the book.
It's like you just pop
And
up in a random place.
the
So
same way that Logan has a following, so does Laura as Wolverine. So
I
like
know.
Wolverine
Good
sells.
for her. She is like the thing. I really don't think of her as X-23 anymore.
Me neither. I
I
think of her as
actually,
Wolverine. I think of her as Wolverine that sells, so we got to put her
yes.
around somewhere.
Okay, and last up on the list is Judgment Day #5. That's from Kieron Gillen and Valerio Schiti. And I picked this issue up.
Oh, you jump back in. That's wild because I did not.
Uh I mean, I didn't know too much about what was going on. Obviously, I missed a couple of issues since then, but I don't know. I kind of got spoiled on the ending of this, and I was
All
like,
I
oh, this time was hot.
did you just scroll through Twitter at like 8 in the morning?
Yes. The newspaper. It was the first page I see. I was like, oh, but I was like, oh, I mean, I'm into that. But so you guys got to bear with me. See, you were supposed to help me fill in the gaps because I hadn't been here.
I may be able to help you a little bit.
Basically, they're just trying to fight the giant Eternal,
Still?
and Jean. Yeah, I mean Celestial. Excuse me. They ain't beat him yet. He's like dragging everybody, and like as he's going through, he's talking about it, and Jean uses her telepathy to project a message of like Captain America talking to the Celestial. The Celestial kills him, so like everyone sees it. They're going through all this stuff. Let's just skip right to the end, which is the exciting part. Because
Wait,
after
did
every,
he killed the actual Celestial, not a vision that
no,
she made?
the Celestial killed Steve
Oh.
and Nightcrawler
Oh.
when he was
So
when
Jean put something in his head,
no, so
and this.
Jean, so like they sent Captain America to go and talk to the Celestial because Captain America is like hope. He is the
Yes.
man. He's the one you get. So while he's doing this, Jean is projecting his thoughts to the entire world, so they can all hear the conversation and him trying to like tell the Celestial, "Don't kill us. We're good people."
Whose
As a
idea was
result,
that? Why did everybody else need to know? Hers. Never mind.
exactly. So the Celestial in retaliation kills Steve.
And not everybody saw.
And like, yeah, now everybody sees. And so as they're going through these motions to try and defeat this Celestial, by the end of the issue, we discover we only have a few eggs left because Gold Balls has also been killed. And I guess he hasn't been brought back yet. And so they want to use one to bring back somebody. Exodus is getting hot. He's like, don't do this. It's not a good idea. It goes against
King.
Krakoa law. Nightcrawler is like, we need somebody who can lead this team to defeat this Celestial. And this is not someone, basically not Cyclops. We need somebody who is like the guy who can lead us to save the entire world. And who pops out of an egg? Captain America with his
Oh
shield.
wow. Okay.
which, which I don't know how the shield got in the egg, but
It looks
the
cool.
the
I saw
image
the
is hot.
picture. It looks cool.
The image is hot. Okay.
Like I saw somebody say that too on Twitter, like, "Oh, how did his shield get in there?" And it's like, it looks cool. That's why.
Don't worry about it because you needed to know who it is. You know what
Mhm.
would have made it even cooler if it was Sam. I'm just saying.
Oh,
I think that's what Judgment Day is missing. Captain
mhm.
America, Sam, Nasty.
Oh.
I'm just saying.
That is
I'm just
cool.
saying. It would have been hot. But I don't know. The issue's hot. I did tap out of Judgment Day for a little bit because again, I realized it's kind of like more focused on the Eternals. I think it's good. I think it's well written. I think the action looks good. I think there's a lot of emotional weight stuff happening here. I didn't really get too deep into it because I didn't understand a lot what was happening because I missed a couple issues. But like I was like, oh, this is hot. It
Mhm.
looks good. The mutants are getting judged. The Eternals are getting judged. The Avengers are getting judged. It's going to be a good event when it's all
I'm
said and
interested
done.
to see now the implications that'll happen if they don't just mind wipe everybody and say this was all a dream and you didn't even remember anything
Mhm.
that you saw here. How everyone is going to react to Captain America being brought back to life, and B, oh, so
Mhm.
you guys can like resurrect anybody? Like it's not
You
just for
you
mutants.
gonna pick and choose, but I mean, everybody would be like that. The virtue signaling is like not cool. They know if the humans had access to resurrection, they would not be going to tell the mutants. Just like how that man said to Emma at the Hellfire Gala. He was like, we don't even care about y'all having resurrection or giving it to everybody else. But we need to know if we can get it for like specific political leaders or like really high ranking people. That's what we need. It's just a thing to monetize it.
And I mean, that's when I should have known that this was going to be something that's possible because Emma said, well, let me think about it. I'll tell the council. So,
Okay? She had no problem. Put some money in
and I
her
mean, they
face,
never said that they
do anything.
T. And I mean, they had no kind of issue with it in this book. Like they just were like, oh, he back.
Yeah, I mean, so no one knows that. Like, that's how the issue ends. Obviously, like his shield is popping out of the egg, so we don't know. Obviously, like Exodus was against it. Obviously, the Five was like, whatever, we gonna do it. Nightcrawler was all about it. We'll see how it goes next issue.
Why wouldn't they? resurrect Goldball back to get more eggs, but I wonder if that's going to happen in the next issue.
Probably, maybe. I mean, they're running out of eggs.
So why not
Why?
resurrect the person that
But
gets your
like,
eggs?
why would you ever send him into battle to go and get killed? I'm sorry, like no. Or at least like make a clone of him or something to send up there. I don't know. Do something. Don't send
Hope
him.
probably told him to do it.
Yeah,
She's not
she's the
listening.
queen of bad decisions too.
Exactly.
But nonetheless, I give this a 4 out of 5. I think it's high. Maybe a 4.5 out of 5 actually. I think it's high. I think it's like big, it's verbose, it's Gillen. He writes good stuff. Schiti's art is amazing. It's really interesting to see how far he's come because I remember I think I say it all the time, but when he first started writing or drawing Journey into Mystery with Sif, that was like his first comics work. And like to see him grow from that to this, king. Shout out to the whole team.
Yeah.
But those were the books of the week.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and shift over into the book club of the week. And this week we read some more of New X-Men, and we were wrapped up the Quest for Magic arc, which I get now why y'all like it. It's
Yeah.
because it made Pixie useful.
First of all, Pixie's always been useful. Let's not try it.
I don't know about that. This made her useful. She had nothing before this. Now she got
She
her
had a lot.
teleportation
She had
and
the
her little
visual.
dagger.
Her dagger was hot too, baby. When she whipped that thing out, I was like, yes.
Exactly. So let's all thank Ileana for giving her that dagger and teaching her that
Mm,
spell. Because without it,
mm,
she'd be just another
mm.
mutant
We
with
do
some
it.
cute wings.
She do fine. Don't worry. She was the young girl at the time. She was the sidekick. They were gonna find something for her to do regardless. Cute wings,
Sh-
power,
She had to
illusion.
wear a helmet.
Because she
For
was
real.
young. She was she was like 9. What are you talking about?
Okay.
She was
Helmet
like
girl with your little
9.
wings. She was useless.
She distracted
Magic
Hope.
made her
Oh my
useful.
gosh. Ah, Pixie, what a girl. It girl.
Like I said, this again, it gave her something useful. I found it interesting that they're like trying to fight back Mephisto and is just struggling
Mhm.
each way. Like this
Bless her.
squad is struggling. And I was like,
Yeah,
that's a shame.
they were. But
Franklin
shout
Richards
out to
Mephisto
Mercury
would
and
be strong.
Dust for being those girls and coming
True. It's
through.
true to them. Yeah, it's true for them. And shout out to Surge and Hellion. They were like hell bent on trying to come down there and try to help their friends.
Yeah.
They, did whatever they could do. None of them ended up beating Mephisto. Magic ended up doing that in the end.
Velasco.
But yeah,
You know,
yeah, Belasco.
it's interesting because I feel like this was really the turning tide for this team. And it was so interesting because I feel like the book ends not too long after. But
The three mushrooms.
it was just kind of like this is really what made it all kind of like click and be like, oh yeah, this is like their story. This is going
When
to be
they
the
finally
one.
got very useful.
When this is what they're going to do. Because it was the really
They
the
blow
first
up
time.
that
Again,
boy.
I think it was the first time you had seen all of them together like this, like all of the new X-Men. But I feel
Well,
like they had been
these
kind of
elite few, because before this, it was like 50 of them in the book. Like when we
exactly,
first
and
started this book club, it was a lot of them.
it was a lot. And then they went on down, and this was the first time again we saw them kind of trying to have a quiet moment where they get sucked back into it all. But then they come back together, and we see this whole student body or what's left of it working together and becoming this crew. I think that's what. Oh, I get it, new X Men fans. I
Yeah,
understand.
I do understand new X-Men fans out there. I do completely understand why you would like this team of
And it just
characters.
makes
You're like,
men like Jordan White nasty. Because why would you get in an interview and tell these people that their characters are important? I don't want to hear what you have to
see.
say. But nonetheless,
I'm just saying.
I don't
I
want to
don't
hear
know.
what you have to say. But the point is, Quest for Magic was an amazing art.
It was great for making Pixie useful. I completely understand why people like that arc now. Like, it really did give her something. That's
It was
even
a
when her
great
hair
moment.
started becoming like we got her like a
The
little
black. Yeah, she lost a little bit of
blacky
her
hair.
soul. Her hair became black a little bit. I'm glad we actually got rid of that though, and we're back to full pink.
Yeah, yeah. I was see what they were trying to go for with the like the the
Yeah.
mix.
But I
Um,
think it truly was also, yes, a turning moment for Pixie and really kind of elevating her to that next level. She became the teleporter girl. She filled that role with magic sometimes. She grew up a little bit. Again, she was the character. Wallflower had died. Wallflower, I feel like in the beginning half of the book was that character who portrayed like the innocence and the youth, and like you were kind of making her harder. Once M Day happened and we lost all these mutants, all the kids were kind of hard. Who was the only one who still had any real innocence was Pixie. And then even after all of this stuff happened, she still maintained a little bit. She still tried to say something, but like she was the one who had to become hard and she had to become a little bit more edged out. So shout out to her.
Useful as another word for it. But I like it. This team, it's interesting to see where they were in this in New
Mm,
X-Men versus where they all are now. Because
mm,
Anole in this, in one of the later issues, I think this was 42 that we were for this week. Anole is I think he kind of like kind of came out a little bit. And he also like gained a new arm in this because he like lost it in magic.
mm,
It seemed like him and Rockslide, he's like made of like magma now because of
mm,
everything that happened in Limbo. They're trying to give these characters a little bit of something extra, but like it's interesting to see where they were in this new X-Men versus where they all are now in Krakoa. Like Elixir is in this, and he's kind of been treated like the sad boy in this, but now he's like
yeah,
he's
he's
on
that
the
boy. He's the
he's on
five.
he's on the five.
He's
Mercury's
a
in this.
savior.
She's
Oh,
like trying to be there for her friends, but now she's
she's nowhere to be seen.
uh,
She's nowhere to be seen,
Hellion is
which is
in
like
this.
really sad.
Yeah. I think again, I've said this before about these characters. They just need their own lane now, and
Mhm.
because we don't have a school, they need something else to do.
Again,
Earlier,
this
remember earlier when we were doing this reread, and I was like, "What else do they do outside of being students?" And you were like, "That's all they. That's it. This is what they do."
they were
Well, now
students.
that they don't have a school, like
What else are they
they
gonna
need
do?
something else to do.
But again, that's why I also say I don't think it's a good idea for them to be on things like Bishop's War College. If that's going to, unless it's a team that's being treated as a almost military unit that is like adults. If you are treating them like a training camp to learn how to do things, still in that student mode, no. You should be like the agents. You've already been certified. This is just the new squad we're putting together. You just got to learn how to work together. I shouldn't be having to like teach you how to use your powers or like you're doing basic things like trying to do a Hulk clap that you've done a million times already. What are
Exactly.
you talking about? Anole is another one. Like you say, Anole is in this book. He is like coming out. He's getting new arms. He's like growing up. But then you get to New
He tried
Mutants.
to be a leader though, and like that did not work.
Yeah, sometimes every girl can't lead. But then you go
He
over
trying
to
to
New
tell people to
Mutants,
listen to him, and nobody listens.
and they doing this, and he's doing the same thing, but this time he's doing it with Rainbow and Ugly Cosmo. It doesn't make sense. And so you get into this section with these characters. Yeah, they're great. We have these moments with them, but you cannot see them together like this anymore because every time you do, they're just going to be students. You got to put
Mhm.
Mercury on like an X Force. You got to have Bling go be on. I don't know what would
X-Force is kind of like that.
she's got the powers for it. I don't know. What will Bling do? Something.
Well, she just lost the vote. Maybe she wants to be X-Man.
So, anyways, you get them doing different things, and like that's how they'll grow. And again, you have it similar to a New Mutant situation where the only time they do kind of get together is a reunion. New Mutants came out this week, and that's what the big issue was. It was just like them on a ship reminiscing about the old days. But that's all it is because at the end of the day, they got to go do other stuff. Well, most of them have to go do other stuff. Sam's retired. Bobby's got to go do stuff on a Rocco. Magic has got to go be an X-Man. Warpath is going to go teach. Wolfsbane is, I don't know, going to cry or something. That's it. They'll hang out and they'll keep it moving. And that's what the new X-Men have to do as well. Pixie and
Yeah,
Dust
they
don't
just
talk to
need
these
to
kids
really get
at
their
all.
stuff.
And it has like been amazing for them.
She does not. Yeah.
The girls got out and said bye.
Yeah.
Look at Armor. Armor's
Pixie.
losing the vote. Armor about to lose the vote for a third year in a row. Okay?
Yeah.
Let's be serious.
She was on Sword for a bit though. She got a job.
She lost that apparently too.
Yeah, I don't know what that's to do, what they doing with that. But the rest of them need to have their own lane. Otherwise, like they're never going to get used. You can't just have their lane be X-Men because now that's just a popularity contest. Everybody on this island can be an X-Men now. So like, what else
Yeah,
you gonna do? They need
yeah.
like a main line, and their role before were the students, the squads, But that's just not what they are.
They
They
can
can't keep
do.
doing that.
There's so many kids now. There's so many
Hmm.
kids. Stand out. What you want to do? What do you? Who do you want to hang out with?
Hmm. Who do you want to put yourself around, and where do you want to be?
That's what you need to do.
A no. What do
Oof.
you want to do?
He's poor no. Like he's gone so like that is like one character who we have truly seen regress in real time because they have done so many things with him trying to move him forward, but he keeps getting put back into the space of being the student trying to move forward. Pixie is technically younger than him, and she's a cop.
I was gonna ask that, or bring that up anyway. Like she is technically younger, but they look about the same age now. Like
She look older.
yeah. Dang, she got surpassed. I mean, she surpassed him.
Oh, she surpassed them all.
Good for her for
Especially
working it out.
again, like you said, the magic thing helped. But then once Fraction came in and he made her like the main girl of the
On the
Utopia
team.
era and all that stuff, oh, it was a wrap. And then Dust got lucky because she went outside the team. She became a champion.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I guess these other kids, they could always become like another New Mutants, or they just need to go their separate ways. But I mean, they can't really become a New Mutants because I don't even know how many of them are left. Like
I
I
think
think.
if you I think if you treat them like the New Mutants, you have to do it in the way that New Mutants is kind of doing now, where you really take different generations of the kids and like mix the groups up. You'll get like a core group. Obviously, like let's say who just lost the vote: Bling, Armor, Surge, and the Gentle. Like those are your four new X-Men right there. And then with that, you mix in other people. You either mix in new younger students or you mix in those new X-Men who we didn't get to see much of. So that's when you put a Trance on the team, or Loa, or who else was there? Indra.
Indra.
I don't know. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like that's when you kind of like have to do that for them if you're gonna really make the new X-Men team again.
Mm.
But if it's not gonna be anything like that, if you're just gonna put Hellion, Surge, um, Gentle, Pixie, Dust, Mercury, like no, go do something else.
Yeah, because I could just go pull up those comics and read that again if I wanted that. But who knows? Maybe they just. I don't think there's really a lane for those young characters. We've talked about this before on the show where we've talked about those like Titans aged characters
Yeah.
where they need to have their own lane, but it doesn't really exist because they just never let them age up.
I think it could. I think there could be. I think if you treat them similar to how you treated the New Mutants in the '90s during the road trip era, whereas like these are like college kids, kind of like leaving off of Krakoa to go do something else, you can do it. But again, it's not going to be all of them. You can only take a handful, and so at that
Right.
point, you got to pick and choose. Like, and I think that's the thing that a lot of people might have to think about when you think about like your favorite characters in Krakoa. Is what you want your favorite character to do helping them in any real way, or does it feel more like a regression? If I was to take Pixie out of Legion of X and make her a new X-Man who's like road tripping trying to find herself with the new X with that team again, I don't know. That doesn't feel right because it feels like over here she has a space where she's doing something, she's getting that time, and like she's got this exciting development versus to go, I don't know, away from all that to figure herself out again.
Sounds very regressive to me. They have to pick
I
the
don't
ones
know.
who need it.
It's like even like I even think of somebody like Frenzy, which is an interesting case because she is technically in this space where she has like a really good position within the Krakoan era and like the Marvel universe as the ambassador for Sword and meeting all these people. However, that's a very limited role. You're not going to see her in too much. How I would love to see her in something like X-Men, where she gets to go be a superhero and do like these exciting things, but also then she can't be the Sword ambassador either. So it's like, which one would I rather have? Would I rather have her like in this thing where she gets like minor appearances right now, but it's leading to a bigger story because Al Ewan's gonna have her do something big,
For
and
sure.
Or do I just have her in this thing that she's in regularly that honestly might not be as good, and I just kind of gotta like take it
Hmm.
because she's there.
We've all been there with some favorites before.
I'm there right now with a couple. Like,
All been there.
yeah. So
All
that's
right.
it.
Well, new X-Men fans, definitely let us know what you think about where you want to see the characters and see them grow and how you see them then versus now. Also, we've only got 3 more issues of this now, so let us know if you want to reread something else or if you want to switch and maybe rewatch something old from back in the day that we can watch, some DC
Mm,
animated
I
movies,
love a classic.
classic TV shows. Maybe we could watch the Daredevil series from Netflix, all that. We pay for these streaming services. We got to start using them. So
Okay,
we should probably start using it and watching some of this stuff. So let's take a break and then we'll come right back.
cool. All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to another watch, and we're getting into episode. What was this? Episode 5 of She-Hulk? Yes, episode
Yes.
5. It's 6.
Yes.
That's crazy. And we still ain't seen Daredevil yet. Okay, whatever. That's fine. But nonetheless, let me just tell you something. I really like this show. And I really enjoyed Miss Marvel because of like that family aspect and everything that was going on there. And this one, I love that it's just kind of slice of life. I feel like the Marvel universe is a very strange place. A lot of crazy things happen there. You got Hulks, you got aliens, you got monsters, you got frozen super soldiers. It's the works. And you always kind of wonder for a lot of these normal people, like what it's like to live there or to be this superpower person who doesn't want to be a superhero and like get involved in all that mess. And I love that this is just that. This is just like Jen as She Hulk navigating her life and doing all of these things. And it's just like very heartwarming to see. I
Yeah,
love
I
it.
like this show. It's really good. I think that anyone who says they knew She-Hulk but came into this show expecting a bunch of action scenes and it to be like, Infinity War, you didn't really know She-Hulk. Like that's not who she is. This is exactly what I would have expected a She-Hulk show to be like. And honestly, I think this is the first show I felt like, oh, I could see a season 2 of this. Like, and them just doing
Yes.
more of her and her life and having more cameos from different people come into the show. Like, obviously, maybe even bigger name ones than the ones we've gotten so far. Um, so this has been the first time I'm like, okay, this is a show. It feels like a TV show.
It felt like a really good episode of the show of like something you'd be watching prime time, like when you done ate dinner, maybe you eat dinner depending on whatever comes on after like Dharma and Greg or Will and Grace or something like that. And I was
Hmm.
like, yes, the scenes with her and Titania at the wedding, I loved it. Let me tell you, Jamila, she might have got me.
She got me too. I
She
was
might
I
have
was a
got
little I was a little apprehensive at first. I was like, I don't really know, but she got me. I liked her a lot in this. I like
me.
Titania. Only thing I want for this now is if they do end up doing a season 2, she's got to have Crusher. I need to have her being like, my
Mm-mm.
man, my man, my
She needs
man.
a man. That would be cute.
Yeah.
But I really like what they've done with her. I thought the fight scene at the wedding was like really well done and it was a cute little tussle. And again, I like their relationship because it kind of shows that again, they like each other a little bit. Like
Hmm.
it's given we could be homegirls if you wasn't getting on my nerves. And I
Exactly. Very that. I
and
love watching them fight.
yeah, it was cute. I was a lot better than the first one. I hope we get to see it like at least one more time before the series ends, to be perfectly honest.
Mm.
But everything else was really good. I like seeing Jen kind of like again once again dealing with being She-Hulk versus being her regular self and like talking to the guy at the wedding and getting her flirt on. I really enjoyed this background plot that's simmering with whoever's watching her and trying to get a sample of her. Seeing Nikki and Mallory doing the lawyer thing, hot. That's like a great
Very.
little duo right there. And I love that we got to learn a little bit more about her. The Mr. Immortal, he was hilarious.
Yes.
Jumping
He's
out the
also a
window.
mutant.
Also a mutant. They're here.
They're here. They are here. They are coming. I really did like the stuff with him and his exes.
Yeah.
The wife and the husband, who said
Mhm.
I put on $10,000 for that jazz funeral.
Okay, period. I love the part where they were like arguing about the money, and she's like, "Why does she get more than me?" And she was like, "Oh, I had a baby," and they're like, "She made the mistake." Like, come on now.
Exactly. She was me. I was like, girl, that's on you. You
That
had
was,
a kid, not me.
mm.
I really like this episode. I think this may have been one of my favorite ones so far.
Yeah,
Um,
I can agree with that for sure. Oh no, I don't see what anyone has to be mad about. I've seen a thing about the lack of action, but I don't know. We just got a fight scene. But
I think they mean like, straight up superhero fight scene. I can add it to a feats montage.
oh, like she
But
about to be jumping on buildings like Bruce.
and yeah, like Bruce.
She has sense. Why would she do that?
Yeah. And I always ask this to the people who say that. Tell me when you saw her do that in the comics recently. Quickly.
When she was big and ugly and nasty, like Bruce. Like that's it.
Exactly.
Not
Please.
She-Hulk. She has a saucer. Look at somebody else.
Please. That's not her vibe. That's not what she does. She lives a
Be
life.
serious. She's a lawyer. She got a job.
Exactly. She's only ever a superhero, in my opinion, when she's with the Avengers, like on the team doing that kind of stuff. Outside of that,
And they be
it's
kicking
something
her
else.
off because she still
Yeah.
be trying to live her life and party. you know,
The hot girl.
you should really read the slot run of She-Hulk. I think like everyone who has never read the run should read that run. I don't know why people hate Slot. Everything I've ever read from him has been good.
Is that the only thing you read for him? It has
I
to be.
also no, I also read his. He wrote Superior Spider-Man, didn't he?
Did, yes. That was good.
That was hot. And those are the only two things I've ever read from
There you go.
him.
Makes a lot more sense.
But She-Hulk is really good, and
I
it's
have
like
heard that.
a lot of fun. I highly recommend everyone read it. At least like the first arc where she gets kicked off the team because she keeps bringing guys home to Avengers Mansion, and they're like, "This ain't what this is for."
Wait, but he also did the Arrow stuff, right? Is that him?
The what stuff?
Arrows, the Titan. Is that his name?
He
Star
he
Fox.
got he got some of that nastiness in there, yes, but it was it was dealt with.
See? See what I mean? But
I don't.
anyway, the show. I really like the show. I really like Nikki in the show. She's a lot of
She's
fun.
fine. I did miss
Um,
Pug.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
needed.
I like their little trio that they have there. I don't know. I like the show. It's
The
cute.
show's cute. It's good.
It
It's like
was
when the girls
fun.
were bonding and she was talking about like you got a husband, you got a kid. She was like, that's enough questions.
I liked when I was watching this with one of my really good friends, and when She-Hulk came to the wedding, my friend's first thing out his mouth was, "Now, why does she come to her wedding as She-Hulk? It's not about her. It's for the bride." He was like, if my friend came to my wedding with their powers on, I would be upset because like it's my day. And of course, that's exactly what happened.
Exactly. 'Cause that's real life. It's relatable. It's girl talk. It's cute. People are crazy. The show is fine. I think it is probably actually going to be one of my favorites of the
Yeah.
Disney Plus slate, which is not hard to do when you think about everything we've gotten, but it counts.
I don't know. Looking back, some of them were good. Not all of them, but some of them were good. I liked WandaVision. I did like Falcon and Winter Soldier. I
Yeah,
think
I
it's
like
actually
that too.
really well done. Um, I liked Ms. Marvel. I like She-Hulk. Only one I really didn't necessarily. I actually kind of liked Hawkeye. I liked Kate Bishop the most in it, and Yelena. But like it was
Yeah.
alright.
I like Kate Bishop and Yelena.
Yeah, but I mean the show itself, like it wasn't terrible. Seen worse.
I don't remember much of it outside of Kate Bishop and Yelena, to be perfectly honest with you.
That's T. A lot of these kind of run by really quickly. Roll right on into the next one. So that can be a little.
I did like Miss Marvel. I liked Falcon and Winter Soldier. I had some issues with it, but I liked it overall. I did not like Moon Knight.
Oh, Moon Knight. I liked Moon Knight. I don't know. I liked Moon Knight. I almost forgot about it, but I think
yeah.
his acting kind of carried the show.
His acting was phenomenal.
I liked Layla too. It got me.
No, she definitely does not need to return. Her, like, absolutely not. Please, no.
So she's an Egyptian hero. She said, "Yeah, my girl."
Her
Her swords and her wings, absolutely. Her curly hair, yes, queen.
The fan art was nice.
I don't know. I'm about to watch that scene again. We cleared that.
You had fun with that. But anyway, She-Hulk is great.
Yeah, I think it's really good. What would you like rate this episode?
On a scale of 5 or 10.
5.
I give it like a 4, like a 3.78. You know?
Okay.
I thought it was cute. I thought it did what it needed to do. I thought it was a good time that served the plot. Again, like the show is just Jen kind of going through her day to day, and we get these subtle moments for her and her life as She-Hulk versus Jen, and how those things differ and how she's dealing with them. We're seeing how she finds love. Yes, more men might be attracted to her as She-Hulk, but she needs to find a guy who likes her as Jen as well. And like we're seeing that happen. Nice thing. It's cute.
Don't trust that man at the wedding, girl.
Yeah, he's
Don't
definitely
take
going to
him
be
like
somebody bad. He's definitely helping the
yes.
bad guys. Because, like, why would they just surveying her? She also needs to, like, be a little bit more serious about who she is and
Yeah.
what she's doing. Because, like, sister, people are coming after you. Like, you got attacked randomly while you were on your way to wherever, and just you let it go.
I mean, that could also just be the life of a woman. Like
that is also true.
I do.
Okay.
What did you think about
Okay, darn.
the intelligentsia? Like, isn't the Supreme? Isn't that a real group in Marvel?
That sounds like it.
I think they are.
If you say it.
Intelligentsia is like a.
I feel like a lot of Marvel groups use intelligence or something with an I in their name. Intelligentsia.
See, I know what I'm talking about. Wow, Lazaric.
I said you do.
It is a group.
I said it sounds like. I said if you say it's right, it's true. I believe you.
It's like, oh.
Educate us, professor.
Okay, it's MODOK.
Oh, that's why I don't know.
I knew that name. That's what I know. Because I like MODOK. And I do think that they're probably going to make AIM and MODOK probably like a bigger thing. The rumor is that MODOK is in Ant-Man and is it Ant-Man and the Wasp or is it just Ant-Man?
Quantumania. Yes. Oh, I can see that.
Allegedly.
Okay.
Allegedly. But if it happens, you heard it here first. So overall, I would probably end up giving the episode like a 4 out of 5. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Maybe like more like a 3.75 out of 8.
I said I was going to say I said 3.78. Thank you very much.
I know what I said. It's just there. It's cute. I like it. It's like I am interested to see when Daredevil finally like pops up. What that's gonna give.
It's probably gonna be the last episode.
For sure. So we'll see. But yeah, that brings us to the end of the show. Please make sure you rate and subscribe us wherever you get your podcasts. We really appreciate all the support and all of your questions and comments, and we try to respond to whoever we can. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at Another Relaunch. You can watch us on YouTube at Another Relaunch TV. You can find me on most social media platforms at UncannyLZ. Keenan, where can they find you?
You guys know you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Keenan Lance. As always, there's an underscore at the end.
All right, y'all. Let's get up out of here, and we'll catch you next week.
Peace.
Out.